Hello everyone and welcome to the January edition of the Atlassian Community Roundup. We've got another month packed full of things for you, from event announcements to product updates to people just posting great tips and best practices. I think there's a little bit of something for everyone here, so let's not waste any more time and dive right in. Okay, first up is by far the thing I have been waiting for the most this year. I hope it's the thing that you've been waiting for as well. And that is that registration for Team 23 is now available. For any of you that have not made it there in person, it will be held in Las Vegas again at the Venetian, which it was last year. I highly recommend making it to one in-person event if you can. I completely understand if just it's not possible for you to do that. And please make sure to sign up for the free digital version. There are going to be a lot of great announcements that are going to happen. I am already registered and I will be there, so if you want to stop by at some point during the conference, if you're in person, to say hello, I would absolutely love that. Related to that, there is still some time left to make a nomination to the 2023 Team Awards. If you feel like the individuals that you get to work with on a day-to-day basis are awesome people and your team should be recognized for the great work that you do, all because of the Atlassian products, this is one that you'll want to check out. I believe that the deadline for it is February 12th, so as of this video going out, you should still have a couple of weeks to get a submission in. You'll want to do that because this is a really great honor. I have tried a couple years and haven't been successful yet, but maybe this year will be my year. Now, the next one is an announcement that has already passed the deadline, and the reason I'm bringing this one up is the fact that this is a good example of why you need to keep your eyes on the community at all times. Devs Unleashed was a hackathon that was run for Unleash, which should be happening in a week as of this video coming out. And that was just a fun thing where you made a Forge app that was a game out of Atlassian data. And there are some great projects. I recommend going to DevPost to check out the Devs Unleash hackathon. All the projects are up there. There's some really cool things that people have done. The finalists will be pitching their projects to the judges in person in Berlin at the Unleash event that's happening. And this was just a social giveaway. So all you needed to do was hop on social media and tweet, hit LinkedIn, whichever one you use, to share about Devs Unleashed and about the Unleash event that's happening. And you were entered into a chance to win a PlayStation 5. Now, they don't believe they've announced the winners yet, but this is the type of thing that you could be gaming in style just by making a couple of retweets on Twitter. So I would recommend staying on the nose of what's happening in the community so that you don't miss out on things like this. Up next, we got some cool things. Do you understand how Ops Genie works? I know that I have done the legwork to figure that one out, but this is a great sort of overview of what you need to know about how Ops Genie works. If you are trying to understand it yourself, or you need to come up with a better way to pitch it to people who ask you what it's about, this is a great article to read. Tips for Confluence administrators. Ollie's done a great job of gathering and distilling some great tips for people who have to administer Confluence. Now, this is targeted at data center, but I definitely think that there are some things that transfer to cloud as well. So go ahead and definitely give this a read. It's definitely going to give you some tips that you may not already know. I know I learned some things from it. And in that same vein, best practices around setting the resolution field. I know that we all know about the resolution field itself, but these are some great tips on doing it in a way that allows reporting to work correctly, making sure that issues are properly resolved, and making sure that they are properly unresolved when they're reopened. Absolutely give this a read. Alex has done a great job of putting this together. Next up, raising a teenager. If you saw this collection of posts in episode form that Walter did last year, they are a lot of fun, and it's a bit of an unusual use case for using the Atlassian products, but they do it in such a very unique, innovative way that I loved reading these. So if you haven't read this one in particular, Go check it out. It's a lot of fun. If you miss the rest of the episodes that have happened before, Walter's included a link to those. I highly recommend reading this whole series. It may give you some ideas. Next up, how I passed the ACP 120 exam. This will not give you the answers to the exam. That would be against Atlassian's terms of service. But Gal has done a great job of compiling all the resources that will help you study in a more efficient way so that you have a better chance of passing the exam. So if you are looking to take that exam, this is a great sort of consolidated set of everything that you need to know in order to pass it. I highly recommend checking this out. There are some paid courses that he recommends in here, but I would also recommend those. Atlassian's changed their cost structure around their courses now, so they are much more affordable. Please go read this if you're interested in taking a certification. Lastly, for our news and announcements section, the Atlassian community team is starting to feature some of our community leaders. If you aren't aware, community leaders are not Atlassian employees. They are people who are passionate about the Atlassian products, and they volunteer their time to help others either by answering their questions and business challenges in the online community, or they're setting up events in your local region so that you can meet some Atlassians or meet some experts to help you learn and understand, and then, also meet more of your teammates that are also using Atlassian products in the area that you're in. Okay, next up is going to be our product updates. First off is the latest announcements around ISO certifications. These all look to be cloud-based certifications, but if this is something that's important to your company, whether you're evaluating a new product or you want to make sure that Atlassian is still meeting its requirements on ISO certifications, go check out this article and the link into the resource center to check out what is covered under their ISO certifications. In the same vein, Atlassian has also announced an update to their HIPAA compliance. So same role here. Go check out the resource center for what is now HIPAA compliant. By the looks of it, it's Jira Software Cloud, Confluence Cloud, and Jira Service Management. I haven't talked a lot about Jira Product Discovery, and if you aren't aware of this, this is a Point A program's beta product around making it easier for ideation for your product teams. If you haven't seen it, go take a look at it, and definitely check out this article as it's highlighting a number of recent features and updates that have been released into the product discovery solution. It might be something that you're interested in. And the fact that it's in beta, that means it's free to try right now. So there's no cost associated with it at this time. Next, we're going to talk about Jira Work Management. For any of you who are a fan of that, there are updates coming to your boards, and this is a good sneak peek of things that you can expect to see in the future. So if you're following Jira Work Management, you are going to want to check this out. Next up, GitHub for Jira. This is a new app that Atlassian has released into the Atlassian Marketplace. And I know you're probably going to say, well, but we already have a connection to GitHub. Why do I want this? If you read through this article, it looks as though the DVCS connector is going to be deprecated at some point in the future and going away. So I would highly recommend checking out this app and starting to figure out how you might switch over to this ahead of the deprecation notice so that you aren't going to be scrambling to try and figure out how to maintain that connection between Jira and GitHub in the future. Next, roadmaps. So this is more of an FYI. Roadmaps have been around for company-managed projects in Atlassian Cloud since about 2018. But they've always been off by default, and you needed to enable them in order to take advantage of that. As of this video going live, they will now be on by default, and you will need to intentionally turn them off. So if you have chosen intentionally not to use roadmaps, you will want to go and make sure that they are turned off in your project settings. And this article does explain to you how to make sure to disable the roadmaps feature. Next, team managed projects. If you are a fan of them, they are now a solution you can use for service management projects. So they have previously only been for software. You can now make a team managed Jira service management project. And then lastly, what's new in Confluence Cloud? If you are using Confluence Cloud, this is a collection of everything that the Confluence Cloud team has released within December of 2022 and January of 2023. It's a significant list of things that have come out. You may have missed some of the changes that have happened, so go check this out to make sure that you are taking full advantage of your Confluence Cloud instance. And with that comes to the end of all of our updates. Be sure to also check out the trending discussions, the automation corner, and the questions that are left out of the cold. And that's all I have for you for the month of January. I hope you enjoyed this roundup as much as I enjoyed putting it together for you. As always, this is just a small sample of all the great content people are creating every single day that's just waiting for you to find it. So use this as a starting point to explore the rest of the community. I look forward to seeing you back here next month, and thanks for stopping by.